Okay, so what I want to show you in this video is without touching a computer, give you an overall overview of what's the Stata environment, what are the files, and how does it differ from, let's say, Excel. Okay, so one of the main differences between Excel and Stata is that in Excel, what you see is what you get. You make a change, it's done, and there's a single file that you're working with. Moreover, when you make these changes in Excel, the clicks that you do, the numbers that you change, don't get recorded anywhere. In Stata, every click that you do, every number that you change, the opening of a data set, the closing of a data set, the savings of a data set, everything gets recorded. And we're going to call this commands or instructions. Okay, so when you open up Stata, differently from Excel or from Word, you see a box that it's not the actual file that you're going to manipulate, but I call this the TV. This box here, which is the TV or the output, it's simply a record of all the commands or instructions that you're going to do. So this is keeps track or records all the commands or instructions. Okay, that's the first thing that you see. So in this particular box here, at the very bottom of it, you have the option to issue various commands, and you can issue them one at a time. Stata processes commands one at a time, line by line. Has anyone done coding before? So if you've done coding before, you know that some programs would read the whole code and then they would compile the whole thing. Stata goes one line at a time. Okay, so once you look at this TV, well, what is this TV working with? This TV is working with some underlying data. Okay, so I'm going to call this bit here is going to be my data file, or I'm going to call this the Excel spreadsheet. It's not Excel, of course, right? But it's the data file, Excel spreadsheet. So what this would be, would simply be a recording of the data that you have. These files are .dta, so they will only work for Stata. You're not going to be able to open those data set in Excel or any other software, but there exist softwares that allow you to transfer between different data formats. One of this software, it's called Stat Transfer. And you might be able to get access to it. At LSC, we do have access to this software called Stat Transfers. Yeah.
Does Stata read CSV?
Stata does read CSV. You could include it. It's very flexible into reading many things. So even though their own data set needs to be converted into DTA, Stata is very flexible into reading all sorts of formats. Okay. So that's the TV. That's the Excel spreadsheet. Okay. But remember what I told you. One of the biggest benefit of Stata is that you're able to have execution of instructions multiply, and that you're able to change the instructions at a regular time. So if you run these commands, if you manipulate the data from here, and then you save this data set, you haven't saved the actual instructions that you've done. Okay, so there's two more important files. You have the log files. Think of this as like TV recording. It records whatever is on the screen of this TV, okay? Everything that you see here will be screenshotted. So these are log files. So this is a screenshot, if you like, a continuous screenshot of the output window. A continuous screenshot of the output window. Okay. Yeah, there's one more file. This screenshot, you can be converting this in multiple, you can leave it in the normal format, but you could also convert it into a PDF. What does that mean is that you cannot execute those instructions, but you could see what instructions you executed, and you can see the output of some of those instructions without seeing how the data was manipulated. Okay? So we need one more type of file, which is an important type of file. This is the do file. This is an executable, this is a .do file, okay? And what this is an executable. The key word here is executable, so I can run it again. So this is an executable set of instructions. So if I want to make any particular changes, that's what I do. So in summary, when you open up Stata, differently from Excel or Word, you're not working with a single file, you're working with multiple files. So it's not about the software, it's about the environment. So this whole ensemble here of things makes the environment of Stata. You have a TV, you have capabilities to record what's happening on the TV, and that's the log file. You have capabilities to record the executable instructions so you can play them again and change them as you please. And you also have the equivalent of the Excel spreadsheet, which is your data file, okay? Which you don't normally directly change, but you change these commands, okay? And that concludes that first